Hi everyone, my name is Becca. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm here with my top 12 favorite fantasies of 2019. I keep wanting to say romances, even though that's another video coming next week. But yeah, I could only choose 12. I couldn't do 10. I tried. It would have been 13, but I decided 12 is a better even number. I wasn't going to make it an odd number, so my number 13 pick is in my honorable mentions. Yeah, I did try to do 10, I really did, but I really loved 12 fantasies, though my romances, as you will see next week, is 15, so be prepared for that one. Okay, so these are the 12 fantasies that I read in 2019. They didn't all come out in 2019, but most of them did. Like a good majority of them did. But some of them are backlist, and I just really love these fantasies a whole lot. And they're all ranked. I have from number 12 to number 1. So I think like last year, I couldn't rank them, but this year I decided I really wanted to rank them. So I did. It was hard, but I did it. So for my honorable mentions, for 2 series I don't have with me, I could get them, but technically, sorry, I'm getting a text again. Technically, those series are rereads, so they technically aren't going on this list anyway, but I wanted to mention them, and those are the Dark Hunter and the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. The Dark Hunter series is by Shelly Kenyon, and the Black Dagger Brotherhood is by J.R. Ward. I absolutely love those series. I talk about them a lot. I'm reading them every month. Like, I read 1 or 2 of them every month, and I really love them. And I'm rereading certain books to finally catch up to where I'm not rereading them anymore, where I'm just like reading new books. So Black Dagger Brotherhood, I think for both of them I already made it, and I've been able to read a couple of books, which is why technically they're in my honorable mentions, though really I wouldn't even be mentioning them if it was just rereads, because there are no rereads for this list, or there would be way too many more books. I love to reread. But yeah, Dark Hunter series by Shelly Kenyon and Black Dagger Brotherhood by J.R. Ward are 2 of my favorite series of the year, if not all time. The next series I'm going to talk about is the Guild Hunter series by Nalini Singh. This series I did start in 2019. Yeah, and the first book is Angel's Blood. I started this because of Bay Crate and their read-along for it, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. It's about vampires and angels and archangels, and it's just got a fantastic romance between a vampire hunter and an archangel. I absolutely love it. Elena and Raphael are 2 of my favorite characters of this series, and it's my favorite romance. So I just really loved it. It's a great series. I highly recommend it. I keep getting texts. But yeah, I highly recommend it, and I definitely recommend picking it up. And then my other honorable mention was the number 13 pick, but I didn't want to make it 13. So that would be Warrior of the Wild by Trisha Levenseller, and this is a Viking-inspired story about Rhaenyra. Yeah, Rhaenyra, who was like her father's chosen to become heir, and then something happens during her, her coming of age trial, and she's banned from the village, and she has to go and kill a god to be allowed back in and to gain favor again. So this was so good. I absolutely loved it. I loved the writing. I loved the story. I loved the world, the characters. It was just all amazing. I highly recommend this book. It does have mixed reviews, but I personally very much enjoyed it, and can't wait for more Trisha Levenseller's books. They're just so good. Okay, now we're on to the list. For number 12, we have City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. This is set in Cairo, Egypt, at least for some of it, and it's also set in the land of the Jinn, and we have Jinn, and we have magic, and we have like almost an Arabian Nights inspired book. It's so freaking good. I absolutely loved it. I remember when it first came out, and I was like, oh, that sounds kind of good, but nah, I don't know if it's for me. Like, I kind of shied away from it, and I don't know why, because I absolutely loved it. And it's got this fantastic mystery that I really liked. It's got political themes, and it's just so good. I highly recommend this book, and this was number 12. Number 11 is The Dark Triumph by Robin Lefevre. This is the sequel to Grave Mercy, the second book in the His Fair Assassin trilogy, and technically Dark Triumph and Mortal Heart could be number 11, but I chose Dark Triumph over Mortal Heart just because I liked it just a tiny bit more than Mortal Heart. And then Courting Darkness I liked, but I didn't love. So Dark Triumph is the second book, Mortal Heart is the third book, and then Courting Darkness is the fourth book, but it's technically like the first in a new duology. I think it's a duology, if not a trilogy. And so, but technically it's like book number 4 because it takes place right after book 3. And it actually follows our main character of the second book, Sabella. I just really love this book. I loved Grave Mercy when I first read it like years and years ago. And I never continued on to Dark Triumph, and I don't know why. Again, I feel like I shied away from it because I loved Grave Mercy so much, and I just didn't know if I was going to love this book as much. But I'm so glad I picked this up because it was just absolutely fantastic. And it has some brutality, a fantastic romance. It's about the Daughters of Death. The assassin nuns. I mean, need I say more? This is amazing. If you really like the Red Sister trilogy, which I hear is fantastic, it's an adult series, so this is young adult. But I hear they're kind of similar, at least to the assassin nuns kind of thing. So yeah, I've heard if you really like that, you'll like this, or if you really like this, you'll like that. So I know I need to pick it up. I need to pick up Red Sister by Mark Lawrence, for sure. Okay, number 10 is Circe by Madeline Miller. This is literally the story of Circe, a titan in Greek mythology, or she's the daughter of a titan. She's like the first sorceress of Greek mythology, pretty much. And I loved this book. I love Greek mythology. I love learning more about Circe, though I have I do know some of what like who she is, and like I've seen different like variations of her or different takes on her, but this is just so good. I absolutely love learning more about her backstory and her origin story. It was just so damn good. There's just a lot of things I did not know about Circe, and I didn't know that Odysseus and Circe were kind of connected. Odysseus from the Odyssey and the Iliad landed on Circe's island during the Odyssey, which I didn't know. I don't remember that. But I definitely need to pick up the Odyssey again. That's for sure. And I just loved this book. Number 10. Number 9 has to be The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This is Achilles and Patroclus' story during the Iliad. Or it's literally a take on the Iliad, but it follows Achilles and Patroclus. And it's their love story. I never knew how badly I needed Achilles and Patroclus together until I picked this book up. They're just so amazing, and I loved it. They gave me all the feels, and I mean, maybe they were together. Who knows? I really love this take on the Iliad. It was just fantastic. And even though I knew of the end, and because I mean, I know of the Iliad, I've read the Iliad, I know what was going to happen to them, I still love them so much. I love their romance. It was just perfect. And yeah, this is number 9. Number 8 is Reign of the Fallen by Sarah Glenn Marsh. If you watched my worst books of 2019, you'll know that Song of the Dead, which is its sequel, is on that list. But Reign of the Fallen, the first book, the best book, is number 8 on my favorites of my favorite fantasies of 2019. I love this book a lot. I really did. I didn't even know I liked necromancy until I picked this up. I just think that this had a fantastic romance, and it had a really good plot. And I mean, it's got necromancy. Our main character, Odessa, is raising the king from the dead, and it's just got this really good mystery. I really love this book a lot, and I'm really saddened that Song of the Dead was not that good of a book, and it was on my most disappointing list, but at least I really enjoyed this one, and I'm glad that I read it. Number 7, we have The Red Scrolls of Magic by Cassandra Clare. Oh my god. This is Alec and Magnus's story. It's, their story is set after City of Glass and before City of Fallen Angels, I believe. It's during their date in Europe and, like, what happened. And I'm so glad we got this. Alec and Magnus is my favorite ship. Like, they're my favorite ship of the Shadowhunter series. I love them so much. The show only got them right. Like, I liked the show, but really, to be completely honest, I would have stopped watching it if they didn't get Alec and Magnus right. But they did. They were perfection. Maybe the rest of the show wasn't, but they were, and I loved every second of it. And, oh, man. This is everything I needed in Magnus and Alec's story. Everything. I got everything I wanted from this. Oh, I should say this is also by Wesley Chu and not just Cassandra Clare. I keep forgetting to say Wesley Chu's name, but yes, he also co-wrote this. I feel bad, but I absolutely love this book. I can't wait for the second book. I just want more Magnus and Alec. Malik. I just want more Malik. That's it. Number 6 is Crown of Feathers by Nikki Palpretto. This is all about Phoenix Fighters. We follow Veronica and her sister, and they find these Phoenix eggs, and they're trying to get them to hatch. And one of the eggs hatches, and the other one is dead. And Veronica, of course, becomes the Phoenix that hatches becomes attached to Veronica, and Veronica is searching for more, like, the other Phoenix Riders, though they are extinct. There was a war between Phoenix Riders and, I don't know, there was a war. A lot of the Phoenix Riders died. They're supposed to be extinct, though there's rumors that they're still around. Veronica's sister did not like the fact that her egg died and she didn't get a Phoenix, and she grows very jealous about that. There's some brutal acts in here. There's just a fantastic plot. I really love the characters. I listened to this on audio, and I highly recommend it. I just really, really love this book, and I can't wait for Heart of Flames to come out. It's coming out so soon, I think next month, and I'm dying. I am dying for that book. Number 5 is Bloodspell by C.J. Redwine. This is a Cinderella retelling set in the Ravenspire series. Sorry, they just won't stop texting me. Hold on. Oh, yeah, no. Okay, so this is set in the Ravenspire series. This is the 4th and final book in that series, and it's a Cinderella retelling, like I said. And I love that series so much. I think the only book that I didn't absolutely love from that whole 4-book series is the 3rd book, The Traitor Prince. But this one was just so amazing. I loved it. I love Blue, and I love her relationship with the prince. And I think it's like a hate to love, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I read it, but I just remember absolutely loving it. And I definitely... Oh my god. Okay, sorry, it's my friend. I just absolutely loved it, and I really want to reread the series. I think I have to, for sure. Number 4 is Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. If I remember correctly, Enchantment of Ravens. Her first book was on, like, my most disappointing or my worst books of 2018. This is on my favorites of 2019. I'm so happy I gave her another chance. I just absolutely love this. I feel like the oh, what's it called? The demon servant in this. Yeah, okay. The demon servant in this, Silas, I want to say his name is. Please be. I think his name is Silas. He just reminds me so much of Sebastian from the Black Butler anime, if anyone's ever watched that. So good. And this one's just got magic and grimoires and mystery, and there's these libraries. If you love books, you should love this book. It's just so good. And I love this cover so much. And it's also got a fantastic romance between a sorcerer and our main character, and it's just so good. It's just so good. Okay, so now we are down to my top 3. Of course, I don't have the third book. Okay, sorry, I just keep getting texts. Okay, I don't have the third book, technically. So let me find it here. Why aren't you coming up? There it is. Alright, number 3 is Bring Me Their Hearts by Sarah Wolf. I really love this book. This one has got a heartless main character. She got her heart taken by a witch, and now she serves that witch. And the witch sends her to this kingdom to make the prince a heartless. And if she does that, she'll gain her heart back and the hearts of 2 other heartless that our main character Zira has just become fond of. But when she gets to this kingdom and she meets the prince, she ends up realizing she doesn't really want to hurt him, but to get her heart back she will. And it's just so good. I love Zira's wit. I love the fact that it's not this like cliched plot, story. It's not, girl has to kill guy, meets guy, falls in love with guy, and doesn't want to kill guy. It's literally girl has to kill guy, meets guy, has feelings for guy, but is still gonna kill him. You're still gonna die to get my heart back. And it's so good. I absolutely loved it. I did read the sequel to it, which is Find Me Their Bones, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. I didn't love it as much as the first book. I do think it suffered a little bit from middle book syndrome. It's not in my disappointing reads. It was still really good, but it wasn't as good as the first one. I can't wait for the third book, which, what's the name of it? Send Me Their Souls, and it's coming out later on this year, and I am just really excited for it. I can't wait. So that was number 3. So now we're on to my top 2. But for number 2, I have 2 books because I couldn't choose. And they have to be The Wicked King and The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. So I couldn't choose between these 2. I love these both equally. I just thought The Wicked King was just completely fantastic, and I got a lot of brutality from this, which I found I really liked in 2019, and I think a little bit 2018. I just found that I really like my books with a lot of brutality in it, and this definitely gave me that, and this just gave me a fantastic romance that I really loved, and it was a solid ending. I thought it was a really solid conclusion. Yeah, I did feel like it was a tiny bit rushed, but I still very, very much enjoyed this book. And, I mean, if you get this edition and you read the letters at the back that is to Jude from Cardan, it just makes up for a lot of the rushness of this book. And they should have been included. They should have been. But they weren't. So I definitely recommend getting this edition if you can get your hands on it. If you haven't read those letters, because you really should. But yeah, I love these books so much. If you didn't know, this is book 2 and 3 in the Folk of the Air trilogy. Cruel Princess book 1. Absolutely love book 1, which I didn't think I would. I really didn't. Did I read Cruel Prince in 2019? I don't think so. I want to say I read it like the end of 2018. But if I read it in 2019, then the entire trilogy is on this list. It's a 5-star trilogy. But yeah, if you didn't know, like, Holly Black has never been an author that I really enjoyed. I've DNF'd every one of her books until The Cruel Prince. Once I read that, I was hooked, and I just have loved the entire series. So these were tied for number 2. I'm surprised they were number 1, but there was one book that I found that I just loved more than them, even though I've pretty much given all these books 5 stars. But this book, like, stole my heart, kind of, and I was obsessed with this book for a good long while. I just really love this book, and that is Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. This is a Mulan retelling, and it's really Mulan meets Project Runway, but you only get that for, like, the first half of the book, and then it goes off into this, like, it's whole other thing, and I don't really want to say anything because I don't want to spoil it, but it's so good, and there's a love interest you just don't see coming, and I'm just like, oh my god, I love this book. I can't wait for the sequel. It's a duology. It's the Blood of the Stars duology. Yeah. So Blood of Stars is a duology. It's a series name. Spin the Dawn, of course, is the first book, and then the second book is Unravel the Stars. Yes. And I was approved from NetGalley for that sequel, so I am, like, living for that. I can't wait to read that, though it comes out in July. So I don't really want to read it too far away from the release date. But I'm kind of having a hard time, like, putting it off because I really, really want to read it. The ending of this was such a cliffhanger, and I'm just like, I need book 2 so bad. But I really want to reread book 1. I loved book 1. Just, it's beautiful. Our main character is a seamstress. Technically, she's a tailor, but only men can be tailors. And she has to work as a seamstress in her father's shop, because that's all she can do. But she has been the one tailoring dresses and not her father, who's the tailor of the shop, because he's been too sick and too old to do it. And then one day, men from the palace come and they want her father to join in, like, this contest to see who can tailor the new queen's or the new empress's garments. So it's a contest to become like the royal tailor, and her father can't do it, so she disguises herself as one of her, or as her brother, and goes to the palace in his place, and it's just so good. It's so good. I absolutely loved it. Like, I can't recommend this book enough. I highly, highly recommend it. I'm telling you, like, I fell in love with the love interest before I even knew he was a love interest. Highly recommend this book. If you haven't read it already, please read it, please. So that was my favorite fantasies of 2019. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you again with another. Bye, guys. Happy reading.